by special counsel Bob Mueller. According to 3 people familiar with the matter, Mueller's team is asking witnesses about hedge fund manager Richard Gerson and his proximity to some key meetings between Trump associates and foreign officials from the United Arab Emirates. I want to bring in one of the reporters who broke this story for NBC, Carol Lee. Okie doke, my sister, walk us through this one.
Sure. Well, so what we've learned is that Rick Gerson was sent in the Seychelles, first of all, which is, as you know very well, the meeting that took place with Erik Prince, a Trump confidant, and UAE officials, and a Russian who was close to Vladimir Putin. Now, Rick Gerson's spokesperson says that he did not attend that meeting. However, he happened to be in the Seychelles at the same time as these other folks, and he met separately with the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. So he was in that meeting, which we know is being scrutinized by Robert Mueller. And second, he was in a meeting a couple weeks before that in New York at a Four Seasons, where it was Trump transition officials, it was Jared Kushner, Michael Flynn, Steve Bannon, officials from the UAE, and this fixer who we know is cooperating with Robert Mueller's investigation, George Nader. He's a Lebanese-American businessman. So Rick Gerson is, at the beginning of this meeting, brings Tony Blair, the former British Prime Minister, according to his spokesperson, into this meeting to give a presentation on Middle East peace. And so we know that that meeting is also under scrutiny by investigators. And so you now have this new sort of fixture in this web of folks who have come under scrutiny by Robert Mueller, and this is largely related to the UAE, not so much Russia.
Okay, for those who are not deep in the Russia web, why does this matter and relate to Jared Kushner and the broader Russia investigation?
So the reason why investigators would be interested in this is to determine what the intent was. Why was this person there? Obviously, in particular, the meeting that happened at the Four Seasons was official. It was a transition meeting. There was government, the incoming administration was conducting government business, essentially. And so the question is, what was the reason? Why was he there? Was there anything that could have been nefarious in terms of his presence there? Was there a mixing of business, personal business, and government business that might be improper? Those sorts of questions. And then, you know, what was the influence, on, if there was any, on policy once after the inauguration? We know from our reporting that Mr. Gerson had maintained contact with George Nader after the inauguration, and there's another meeting that the New York Times has reported on that he was in early 2017 that's under scrutiny. So it's significant in the sense that what investigators would want to know is why this person who does not have a government role would have been in these sorts of settings.
It's very, very interesting. Carol, thank you so much. This web just keeps getting more tangled. Amazing piece. If you haven't read it yet, please check it out on NBCnews.com. All right, coming up, a special delivery from the White House today. A serious one from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. What impact it could have on the negotiations for that June 12th summit. But first, last year, activewear brand Lululemon, I like this announcement, announced.
You've been a great voice for freedom, and he said that, I got to tell you man to man, you've been screwed. He goes, I've been looking at the case. I knew from the beginning that it was fishy.